What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Double B here, back with another video. As always, before we get into this video, I would just like to ask if you guys could like, comment, and subscribe. You can just comment the number 21, since this video will be for Thursday Night Football, November 21st. So, much appreciate that. And we usually have last night's video to recap, but I am recording this Wednesday night, so right now games are still going on. I know we did cash the Zach LaVine 4.5 rebounds with Giannis 20+ points. That cashed, and right now it's towards the end of the third quarter, but about like 2 minutes left last time I checked. Giannis had 29 points, so we're looking good on that. And Sengun has 10 points at halftime. He's only played 13 minutes because he already has 3 fouls. As long as he stays out of foul trouble in the second half, I think he will definitely cash that 20.5 we had. So the night's looking pretty good for the NBA. But yeah, this is for Thursday Night Football. These picks, I have 3 of them. On Monday Night Football, we did go 3-0. So hoping to go for another 3-0 night again. If I have any more added plays, of course, they will be in the pinned comment down below. And of course, they will be on Twitter. Or X. You can follow me on X. The link will be in the description down below. But without wasting any more time, we're going to get started into these picks. So my first pick here is going to be Chris Boswell over 1.5 field goals made at DraftKings at -130. So Chris Boswell has made the second most field goals this season, or he's made the most field goals this season at 29, and he has the second most attempts at 30. The only guy that has more than him is Fairberth. I'm gonna butcher his name, Fairberth. If I saw it, I would know how to pronounce it, but it is the Texans kicker that has one more field goal attempt. Fairburn, yeah. He has one more field goal attempt than Boswell. But as you can see, he is 29 for 30 this year. He's missed 1 field goal all year. So I think this is just a great spot for him. Last game he made 6 field goals. So, this is going to be a division game. The total is very low. It's at 36.5 points last time I checked. So, there should definitely be, I think definitely room for him to kick 2 field goals. So, the wind earlier this week, it was, closer to 20 miles per hour winds they were expecting, but now it's dropped to like 12, so I'm not really worried about that. Nothing crazy, not crazy weather, so I don't think it would really be much of a factor. So, I really like the spot here for Chris Boswell over 2.5 field goals, or 1.5 field goals, excuse me. And my next pick here will be Jerome Ford over 11.5 receiving yards. So, in my opinion, this is way too low. So, as you can see here, the Browns, let me make this a little bit bigger. So, the Steelers are 4.5 point favorites, so theoretically means that Browns should be in a negative game script versus Steelers, which, basically just means they're not going to be able to run the ball. They're going to have to throw the ball if they're playing from behind. So, if that's the case, Jerome Ford is more of a receiving running back than Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb does not catch the ball out of the backfield. So, I definitely think, he's going to be used quite a bit this game. Last week, Ford actually outsnapped Nick Chubb. Now, you could argue they were coming on in a short week, playing this Thursday. Maybe they were saving Nick Chubb for this game. I don't really think so. I just think it's going to be just a, running back committee really back there between these two guys. Kevin Stefanski did say he wanted a 1-2 punch in the backfield. So the Steelers allow the 8th most receiving yards to running backs. And in week 11, as I said, Ford did outsnap Nick Chubb, and he also ran 20 more routes. So Nick Chubb, I don't really know what's going on. Their offensive line is really bad. I don't think the Browns are going to be able to run the ball at all. Since they haven't been able to run the ball all year, even with Nick Chubb coming back. So I just think, like I said, the Steelers' defense is solid. I wouldn't call it elite. They're not, lockdown, but, they are pretty good, against the run particularly. And, they're mediocre against the pass. They're I guess they're a little above average, but I mean, they do allow the 12th most passing yards in general. But like I said, more specifically, they allow the 8th most receiving yards to running backs. So I really like the spot here for Jerome Ford. Like I said, this number, he can get this in one catch, but I think he's probably going to have a good 3-4 targets, I think, this game. So I really like the spot here for Ford, and which kind of foreshadowed into a little bit with my last pick, which is going to be Jameis Winston over 210 passing yards at DraftKings. So, yes, in my opinion, this line's way too low. Again, I know earlier I stated about the weather, but the weather seems like the wind is dying down. As like I said, the last time I checked the weather report, the highest the winds are supposed to be is 12 miles per hour, which, again, I don't see that really affecting Winston all that much. You know, in his 3 starts, Winston has 395 yards, which was last week, 235 and 334. So, in 2 out of his 3 starts, he's eclipsed over 300 passing yards. So, he's going to throw the ball. Like, I think he threw the ball like 40-something times last week, mid to high 40s. He was just chucking the ball. Now, I know they were in a negative game script, but as I mentioned earlier, wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens in this game. And like I said, the Browns cannot run the ball, and the Steelers are good against the run. So Winston's going to have to sit back and throw there. I would say he's going to throw the ball 35 to 45 times this game. You know? And at such a small number here, I don't know. I just, like I said, Winston's always been that guy to throw the ball. You know? He likes to push the ball down the field. He's not a check down guy, you know. So, like I said, I mean, I just really think that he can easily get this number. So, maybe I shouldn't say easily, but I think it's a very doable number, considering his, you know, history. And, like I said, the Steelers, they allow the 12th most passing yards, and they haven't played the toughest quarterbacks and offenses. I mean, Dak Prescott threw for 352. You know, Dallas's offense has not great, even with Dak there. Daniel Jones threw for 264. Aaron Rodgers threw for 276. So, again, those aren't great offenses by any means. Neither are the Browns, don't get me wrong. But at home, you know, again, Pittsburgh I think this game will be closer than people may anticipate, just because Pittsburgh's coming off a huge division win against Baltimore last week, and Browns got slaughtered by the Saints. Really by Taysom Hill, let's be honest. But anyway, I think this game should be competitive, but if it's not, I think the Browns, I don't see the Browns blowing out the Steelers by any means. But yeah, I think, you know, if the Browns are going to hang around in this game, it's going to be through the air with Winston. So yeah, that's all I got. Those are my 3 picks. You know, if you have any other picks that I didn't mention that you really like, definitely drop them down in the comments down below. Without any further ado, I have nothing else really more to add, so I'm going to end the video here. Best of luck with you guys for the bets tomorrow for Thursday Night Football, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.